So when it comes to this year's E3, you guys know Sony is not going to be at this year's E3. They're actually skipping out. However, it is confirmed that Square Enix is going to be taking the place on Monday night of Sony, who would normally be at E3 every single year. But I think this is still some exciting stuff, just because we kind of already know what Square Enix is going to be doing this year when it comes to E3. First of all, they are going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake, so we are getting more information about that game, and I think a lot of people are excited about that game because the last time we seen that game was the last state of play, and I think a lot of people love the direction of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Me, myself, I think that game is flat out a fantastic game. Whether you're a fan of Final Fantasy in general, or whether you're a Final Fantasy fanatic who loves Final Fantasy VII specifically, I think that game is shaping up to be one of the best games, and that game looks like it's going to be a monster. So props to Square Enix for actually showing more information on the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and who knows how long and how the direction of that game is actually going. So it's going to be interesting at this year's E3 to see more information on the Final Fantasy VII Remake, so that's good. But I think there's another game that they are confirmed to talk about this year, which is going to be quite interesting, and I think a lot of people are going to be more excited about that than they actually realize. The game I'm actually talking about is Marvel's Avengers, because yes, they already confirmed that they are going to be talking about this upcoming Marvel's Avengers project when it comes to E3 this year, and that's some very exciting news. We kind of already knew that they were going to be making this game, but we didn't know how this game was going to shape up, and we really don't have any information or any gameplay of this upcoming Marvel's Avenger game. A lot of people and a lot of things were actually stating to this game actually being a game that would be on a service like Google Stadia, so who really knows what this game is actually going to bring to the table. And then outside of the Marvel's Avenger game and all the information on the Final Fantasy VII Remake, it looks like they could be talking about more at E3, so who knows what Square Enix is actually going to bring to the table this year at E3. Yes, they're not Sony, but even so, this is still going to be some pretty exciting news, just because they have that Marvel's Avenger game, they also have Final Fantasy VII, and who knows what other hidden and unannounced projects that Square Enix may be bringing to the table. And then on another side note, I did not want to make this another video, so I'm just going to talk about it in this video, but recently there's been a rumor floating around the internet that suggests that Borderlands 2 is going to be getting some DLC. Yep, you heard me right. Borderlands 2, the game that came out in 2012, is apparently getting some DLC, and I actually wanted to talk about this because I love Borderlands. I love Borderlands 2, or just Borderlands in general, so this is some pretty exciting news. Now keep in mind, this is only a rumor as well, so who really knows if Borderlands 2 is actually going to be getting brand new DLC. It would be kind of strange for Borderlands 2 to actually get some brand new DLC when you take in consideration how old the game is, but then again, I guess this would kind of make sense if you take in consideration Borderlands 3 is right around the corner. That game is already confirmed to be coming out in September, and that's going to be flat out fantastic. And apparently what's happening with Borderlands 2 and why Borderlands 2 could potentially be getting a brand new DLC, apparently it's going to have some tie-in with Borderlands 3, so when you play Borderlands 3, this DLC will kind of connect both Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3 together and make more sense. But I do find it strange that a game that was made in 2012 would be getting brand new DLC, because I think a lot of people who played Borderlands 2 already moved away from that game, but maybe they're trying to generate more hype around the Borderlands universe, so maybe it could make sense for Gearbox to actually release some brand new Borderlands 2 DLC, and maybe people will go back to the game, and maybe it'll be more revenue for them as well. So who really knows if this is real, but I can also see this being fake and being like people just trolling around the internet, and maybe when you actually go to E3, there is no Borderlands 2 new DLC for the game, because like I said, it is kind of strange that a game from 2012 would actually get DLC. So it makes sense on one hand, but then on another hand, it doesn't make sense. So I can see this being true, and I can also see this being false. So who really knows what's going on with this brand new Borderlands 2 DLC that's supposedly coming to the game. That's pretty much it, and that's pretty much all I want to cover in this video. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from MyTech News, signing out.